Hi guys, Michael with CarCal here. We've got our 5.0. I want to go through some of the features of the 5.0. Basically, there's three features here that the 4.0 doesn't have. One is going to be a kickstand. We'll talk about that in a different video. We do also have pitch and roll adjustments. So for this video, we're going to talk about pitch. So pitch is the idea of the target leaning towards or leaning away from the vehicle. So we want the target, the stand and the vehicle to be on the same plane, and then we want the stand to be perpendicular to that plane, not necessarily to the earth, but the same plane the car is on. So we want to get this pitch correct. All right, so the way this works is we have a proximity sensor, just like all the other ones. If we turn this guy on, now we can look over at the bumper jig, which will be up against the front of the car. We can see the proximity sensor dot here. We've got a baseline. The baseline is where we've actually calibrated this on a level surface. So already this surface is off just slightly. And if we see our numbers here, if we're between the two purple lines, at 1,000 millimeters, we're 1 degree, within 1 degree of tolerance. If we're within the green lines at 1,000 millimeters, we're gonna be at 1 degree of tolerance. For 2,000 millimeters, that would be 2 degrees of tolerance at 1,000 millimeters. And again, if we're at 3,000 millimeters away from the vehicle, if we're in between these last lines here, we'd still be within 1 degree. I don't know the tolerance on most of the vehicles. It's just not stated on the tablets and in all data. We try to just be within 1 degree. That should definitely keep us within the tolerance we need to be. So, come back over here. This is our proximity sensor. This will need to be calibrated to that baseline. It was calibrated before it left the shop for you guys. If we need to later adjust it, if we get a new tape measure or something happens, we can adjust this whole thing to the baseline. So just get on a level surface, and I mean level as far as flat goes. And the way this calibrates is there's 2 screws here. These 2 screws turn it side to side. We do need to release this locking mechanism to make those 2 screws work. This is the locking mechanism here. Once that's released, we can adjust height with this guy up and down. So this one has already been adjusted. So we now need to discuss the idea of what are we gonna do if we're out of tolerance. I think what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take a couple washers and I'm gonna put the washers underneath the front of the stand here to demonstrate, to simulate an uneven surface. And we're up about 1 degree. So I think that's good. We're gonna try to get this back down to the baseline. So that'll be our goal here. So the way this works is we have 2 knobs. We have the black knob. The black knob is the same knob that pulls it up and opens the stand up and down. And then we have the red knob. This is the pitch calibration knob. You're not gonna have both these knobs engaged at the same time. If you notice, there's a notch here with a pin in it, and there's a notch here, and this pin is not in the notch right now. So in order to adjust this, what we need to do is we need to engage the red pin. So we're gonna line it up with the notch. And now all we need to do is move this adjustment until that pin clicks in. Once that pin clicks in, now it's engaged. Now we need to disengage this guy. All we need to do is put a little tension on it, turn the knob back a little bit, and then that guy will come out. Now the stand is able to adjust for pitch. If we notice our dot on the bumper jig over there is just a little over the 1 degree mark. As I spin this knob, you'll see that laser adjust. So now I can adjust it back to my baseline. So we're pretty dead on now as far as pitch goes. So at this point, you would shut your lasers off and calibrate, and we should be just fine. Again, remember, we don't want these 2 knobs to be disengaged at the same time. The stand will fall. So once we're done with our pitch adjustment, turn your lasers off. We're gonna now line the black knob. We're gonna line that up with this notch. And the red knob, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this guy until the black knob engages. So let's see here. There it is. So now we can back it off a little bit and disengage the red nub. Now we're back to our base. So in order to move this up and down, we just release that knob. Just remember, it needs to stay within that notch. That's pretty much it. This new shock absorber here is just a tensioning device that allows us to adjust the stand and it not be wobbly, whether it's wind or whatever. So that's what this shock absorber is for. But that's how pitch works.